Stranger Things Season 5 has had a pretty mixed reception, with characters acting a little off, many unresolved plot points, logical inconsistencies, and bizarre editing, leading to this final season feeling really weird. Then, you have the finale itself, with even weirder occurrences. Actors looking at the camera, blank signs being held up, which has led to a lot of people believing that the finale was fake, and it all happened inside the flayed mind of Mike. Conformity gate. Now, I completely get it. It makes perfect sense for this to be a thing in the show that has taught us these rules. They made us think this way. But I think it goes back to the start of the season. What if I said that the final season was actually a constructed reality engineered by the Mind Flayer itself? A false world built upon the rules set up throughout the entire series. In Season 1, we are shown the Upside Down for the first time, which looks like a distorted version of Hawkins. Same buildings, same layout, but wrong, and frozen in time. A dark reflection covered in an unknown twisted biomass. Reality can be twisted and duplicated. In Season 2, the Mind Flayer demonstrates its ability to alter perceptions, forcing Will to experience the Upside Down as the two realities overlap. He can feel the cold, the wind, and then it is gone. He draws tunnels that span Hawkins, believing that will help his friends, but unwittingly sends them straight into a trap. The Mind Flayer can make you believe you are in control when you're just a pawn, betraying those closest to you. That was one person though. Could it really do this to so many people once? To a whole town? The Mind Flayer has been controlling Vecna since Eleven removed him from her reality. Or even earlier. Wait. Isn't Vecna the one really in charge? He would like you to think so, but the show constantly contradicts him visually and narratively. He is indoctrinated. He claims to be after revenge and to bring judgment to the world for the wrongs he suffered, but it was ultimately the connection with the Mind Flayer that caused him to suffer. Their first encounter caused him to change and then kill his mother and sister, which directly led to him being experimented on at the Hawkins National Laboratory. Logic would dictate that he would first get revenge on the Mind Flayer until he could get back to Hawkins and then destroy the Hawkins National Laboratory and everyone involved. But instead, he doesn't do either of these things. Instead, he wants to expand the Upside Down, expanding the Mind Flayer's territory and influence. He even lies about his first encounter with the Mind Flayer. He claims to have discovered the Mind Flayer after being banished by Eleven, but instead encountered the Mind Flayer as a child, and it gave him his abilities. Which contradicts Will's sentiment on Vecna not lying when confronted by Joyce, who insisted he lies. And is it also just a coincidence that as the series unfolds he looks more and more monstrous, becoming something more like the Demogorgons than the Henry the First found himself in Dimension X. The Mind Flayer has also been controlling the Demogorgons, the Demo Dogs, and the Demo Bats across dimensions, not to mention its control of Billy and the townspeople before. Speaking of which, in Season 3 we see that the Mind Flayer can exist on just a remnant of itself, and can completely dominate living beings. In Season 4, with the help of the Mind Flayer, Vecna is able to construct realities with the ability to tap into memories across dimensions, just like the Mind Flayer who altered the perceptions of Will. Vecna says to Max, "It's time, Max. It's time for you to join me." Vecna displays the ability, or probably uses the ability of the Mind Flayer to displace consciousness, and that is why Elle cannot find her. At the end of Season 4 we see huge and very active rifts into the Upside Down, spewing out ash and corrupting the land. But then suddenly in Season 5, everything is fine, and the massive rifts are covered over by tiny metal sheets, and everyone seems complacent about the whole ordeal. Season 5 immediately starts as a contradiction. Stranger Things Season 5 was a lie. None of it happened. What actually happened was that the breach weakened the barrier between Hawkins and the Upside Down considerably, allowing for a Demogorgon, Demo Dog, and Demo Bat horde invasion into Hawkins, with the Mind Flayer pouring through too. The Mind Flayer quickly found and took hold of all 12 party members like he had with Will previously. 11, Mike, Will, Dustin, Lucas, Steve, Robin, Nancy, Jonathan, Joyce, and Hopper, all have their consciousness displaced and are linked into a mindscape with Vecna to join Max. They are playing out a Matrix-style wishful yet just realistic enough fantasy for their minds to accept, allowing them closure as they stop Vecna and the Mind Flayer, which finally stops their resistance. The Mind Flayer doesn't want you to die, it wants you to stop fighting and to submit to its control, and everyone thinks they've already won. And they are now all living their best lives in the grip of the Mind Flayer. So what do you think? When you're watching Season 5 and you see random objects inexplicably change colour, the Band-Aid metal plates covering holes, the military just giving up and going home, teleporting to the top of cliffs in seconds, Vecna killing people easily, but doesn't kill any of the party members, and even Joyce, who gets thrown about, isn't even injured? Does it really add up? How a bunch of kids are on top of a super high unstable rickety tower, and not one of them is afraid of climbing up on the railing to grab hold of a ledge high above them, without thinking about falling to their deaths? Joyce putting herself up there? Really? Not one of them is afraid of heights. Not one of them thinks, damn, this is insanely dangerous. You know, just after almost being crushed to death by the planet, or whatever it is that almost smushes the tower. The military is unable to handle teenagers. They don't secure their location with a tower right next to their base. And they also gather around in a circle and shoot at a Demogorgon, meaning they're shooting at each other? Because what? Which kind of makes sense, as Hopper isn't there, and no one else's mind would have military or, I guess, gun safety experience. And no one is afraid? There are no monsters in the Upside Down anymore? The soldiers are beyond incompetent, and Vecna can see into everyone's mind at will, and he sees the plan they're cooking up, yet does nothing about it. Then you get things like Will's age when he was taken being wrong, and what happened when they built Castle Byers with Will getting sick from working on it all day in the rain. And Will getting milkshakes at the hardware store his mum works at. Then no accountability, no consequences for their actions. Nancy and Hopper didn't vanish into a back of a black van and are never heard of again. Max somehow graduated with everyone else and regains her vision. Dustin gets the attention of the classic hot girl. This screams of a fantasy ending, a dream cooked up by their delusions. But maybe it really was a dark Christmas after all. But probably not. They probably just forgot. This is my headcanon to account for a show that I loved, with characters I care about being shoved out the door one last time, with next to no care put into it. Who wouldn't want Conformity Gate to be real? In benefit of the doubt, perhaps the creators added some weird things to the final season so that you can easily use previous seasons to explain things away and make up your own ending. And it definitely doesn't hurt that it may well excite people for their next project or spin-offs, just in case it gives the real ending. But I don't think there will be a secret episode releasing today, or ever. And I don't think there would be any way they could prevent it being leaked if they had tried to do this. I mean, the trippiest conclusion would be if they overwrote the episodes. We know they can make changes as they removed Holly's non-time period accurate clothing, and possibly the scene where they removed Jonathan taking photos of Nancy taking off her clothes in the window in season 1. Well, if I left anything out, or I made any mistakes, post it in the comments below. If you like this version of the ending, give the video a like. And if not, then downvote the shit out of it. What were your thoughts on the Stranger Things Season 5? Did you come up with your own headcanon ending? If so, post it in the comments below. I'd like to hear it. Thank you for watching.